Alright, we got the crank in. Lost one of these nuts.
Manny.
So I don't know. We found it though, so that's good. I was on my way to the hardware store and Manny said he found it. Got everything torqued down. Crank still spins, so that's good. I did the plastic gauge. They were all within like 0.0015, so 1.5 thousandths. They were all pretty close. And now Manny's over there putting the pistons together on the rods. Travis got the rods over here. What do you need?
Number 6 rod?
Number 6? They're numbered. They should be. And then we gotta spin it around. I still gotta do the side bolts. Got the instructions here on my ARP. I think they're 20 foot-pounds. Use RTV sealant. So I got some there. Windage tray nuts, 28 foot-pounds. That'll be later. But yeah, then we still gotta do the rings. And it's file to fit, so that's gonna be a long, arduous process, pain in the ass. But yeah, it's coming along. Okay, we got the rings gapped up. Usually go like 0.0, what does it say? 0.055. But I wanted to show you guys the old piston. See, that's showing signs of detonation there. And then there's a piece of the ring, the top ring, there's a piece missing. I took it out. It's right there. A little piece. And one of the other pistons was cooked like this. Like, see, the other ones are okay looking. It's not burnt detonation. But the other one has broken rings as well. So, more damage. Here's the other one that's cooked. You can see that. But then when you look at 3 little pieces of the top ring broken. It was weird though, it had good compression still, which is kind of weird. What number was that? 5? Yeah, it was still. So I don't know when that happened. Could have happened 8 years ago, 7 years ago, 2 weeks ago. I don't know. What's up, guys? A little update. I got the crank in. The main bearing clearances are a little tight. It should be alright though. I'm not really worried about it. We'll have stupid oil pressure. We'll have crazy oil pressure. So we started doing. Well, I came in. Manny felt froggy last night, I guess, after I left, and he did the ring gaps on the rings. And they give you a spec to go by depending on what you want to do with your application. Race, nitrous, turbo, race, basically the race specs are wider gaps, just because the engine takes more abuse. The thing with the ring gap is you want to get that right. Like, see, if you're building a race motor, make the gaps real big, and the reason is when you have heat in the combustion chamber, things expand, and that gap will actually shrink. And if it shrinks too much because it's too hot because of detonation or whatever, the rings will actually touch, and then it basically jams the piston in the bore as it's going up or coming down or whatever, and it'll break the ringland. The ringland is that little area on the piston where the ring actually sits. It's a piece of aluminum, and it's a common thing you'll see with stock bottom end guys. Don't open the ring gap up, and any sign of detonation, the ring's butt pinches in the cylinder bore, pops that ring land off, and you know, the piston's broke. So I was checking out of curiosity what my old ring gaps were, and of course, I mean, the motor's been together for so long that they do get bigger over time. It just wears out. And so the bottom rings were huge, like over 30 thousandths or something. That's probably just from wear. And then the tops were like 24, 25. And I think the spec we're going with, I think he called for 20 and 25 for the top ring, 20, 25 for the bottom one. Manny went a little bigger, I think. He went to like 23 and 28, which that should be good. But the interesting thing is a couple of the pistons showed, like two of them, I think, showed signs of detonation. And when I grabbed those to, you know, I pulled the rings off to, you know, check what the gaps were on those two pistons. They're actually broke. They're broken rings. The one had like 3 little pieces broke. The other one had 1 little piece broke. I mean, in the, you know, on the compression test, it didn't show anything. They were all pretty high on those cylinders that had the broken rings. So I don't know when it happened. That's the thing, you never know when it happened. I mean, you know, years ago that was a blow-through carb, and there was a lot of times where it went lean before we finally got the carburetor lined out, you know, to perform properly as far as air-fuel ratio goes. But so yeah, just more destruction we found. But yeah, we're gonna start putting the rings on, put the pistons in, and maybe button up the bottom end today. Two down, 6 more to go.
Talked about it is the actual seating position. Trans Am, F-body, even like the Santanaros, loosely called F-body, they all have massive doors. Like the doors are just absolutely humongous.
Carlisle Race, is that where you got your shit from?
What?
Carlisle Racing?
Carlisle? Rods and pistons are in. Checked all the bearing clearances. Miller engines. Taxed the reluctor wheel on. Just some added security. You don't want that moving around. Next step is put the heads on. I gotta pick up the gaskets yet. That'll be for another day. What's up? On my way home, about to get something to eat quick. We got most of the short block done. Got the pistons and rods in, cranks in. Did all the ring gaps and everything. All that stuff. It's fun. I like it. It's just tedious. I can imagine if you were building motors all day, every day, you get sick of it. I mean, just like little things, just like trying to put the rings on the pistons, they kick your ass. They don't want to go in the groove, and then they fall in the wrong groove, and you got to pry it out with a little poker, and you stab your finger. And but yeah, we got that in, got that all buttoned up, checked the bearing clearances and everything. Now I gotta put the cam in. I got new lifter trays. The LS motor uses like plastic lifter trays that hold the lifters in there, and over time they wear out. So to be on the safe side, I bought some new ones. You don't want a lifter, you know, it'll turn in there and just wreck your cam, wreck your valve train, wreck your push rod, just destroy everything if your lifter moves in there. So I got new ones there. I got all new gaskets pretty much. Front cover, oil pan, rear cover. I gotta go pick up the head gaskets yet. I might do that today yet. I went with the LS9 head gaskets again. They've been they work well for me. I think they're like 7 layers, 5 layers. I don't know. But they work really good. I mean, they're just a stock head gasket for the LS9 ZR1 motor, and they're pretty cheap too. I don't know if they're like 120 bucks or something. I mean, it's not cheap, but not terrible. So yeah, probably next weekend we'll do that. We'll bolt the heads on, put the cam in, and then maybe shove it in the car. I got the new bell housing. We got to do some modifications on that. My old bell housing, we had to cut a little piece of it by the starter because I'm running 4-inch exhaust, and it goes right by the bell housing there on the starter, and it's so big that there's like a little lip on the end of the bell housing that hangs over, so we had to trim it. And so I'm guessing we'll have to do that again on this one. I got the new hydraulic throw-out bearing set up, so we're going to set that up, get the trans in. We got to run the wiring harness yet for the new Holley Terminator setup. We pulled the old harness. I'm probably going to sell all that stuff. It's a stock computer harness. I got it from PSI, Performance Systems Integration or something. It was a stock, basically a 4th gen F body harness with the stock computer, and so I might sell all that stuff in one shot. Like I have the 2-step. I can get rid of that. I'm not going to use that. And I also had an ultra gauge, a little screen that tells you, all the engine parameters. Basically, you can monitor almost everything through your OBD2 port. Just plug right in. So I'll probably get rid of all that stuff. Probably I have that adapter plate I could probably sell too, the T56 adapter plate. Somebody could definitely use that. It'll let you put a T56 behind a small block Chevy. I also have the old small block Chevy bell housing. Somebody might want that too. But yeah, that's it's coming together. It'll probably be another couple weeks yet before we get it running and ready to tune. I mean, I really don't know anything about the Holley system. I watched a couple of YouTube videos. It's fairly simple, but Matt gave me a tune, Matt Happel, and it's actually Brett DeLong's tune. And it's nice because all the sensors are already set up and everything, and so it'll be just less work. I'll probably throw his tune in there and see if it'll fire up, and then we'll just tweak it from there. It should be pretty close, pretty good. I mean, that system's self-learning. So once it starts, you might have to keep it running, with throttle, but it should learn pretty quickly. And then you might have to adjust the throttle blade, little stuff like that. And then yeah, we'll set it up with Matt and get it tuned. But I'm getting way ahead of myself already. But just thinking out loud here. But yeah, that's all for now. I mean, I doubt we'll do anything during the week. I work, he works. We come home from work, we're just exhausted. We don't want to do shit. So, but I don't know. I'll talk to you guys soon.